Here are the top stories for today, May 18, 2022. The Commission on Elections has proclaimed all the 12 winning senators. The poll body is also set to reply to the petition filed against presumptive President Bongbong Marcos. The Health Department intends to vaccinate over 8 million Filipinos before the term of President Rodrigo Duterte ends. And the Philippines is on track to finish third overall in the SEA Games. Good day, I am William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. All the 12 winning senators have been proclaimed this afternoon at the Philippine International Convention Center or PICC Forum tent in Pasay City. This as the Commission on Elections finished the canvassing of 172 out of the 173 local and overseas certificates of canvass. Only one COC from Lanao del Sur has not yet been canvassed, as 14 barangays in the province are going to conduct special polls. The poll body said the votes from Lanao del Sur will no longer affect the results of the 12 senators. On the top spot is actor Robin Padilla, followed by Antique Representative Loren Legarda and broadcaster Rafi Tulfo. In fourth place is Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, followed by former Sorsogon Governor Chis Escudero, former Department of Public Works and Highway Secretary Mark Villar, former House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano, and Senator Miguel Zubiri. Also part of the Magic 12 are Senator Joel Villanueva, former Senator J.V. Ejercito, Senator Risa Ontiveros, and former Senator Jinggoy Estrada. Their term of office starts July 1 and will end on June 2028. Congress will start the canvassing of votes for the presidential and vice presidential races next week. House of Representatives Secretary General Mark Leandro Mendoza said the canvassing will begin on May 24 at 2 p.m. The canvassing from May 25 to 27 will be from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Under the Constitution, the election returns for President and Vice President duly certified by the Board of Canvassers of each province and city shall be transmitted to Congress. Upon receipt of the certificates of canvass, the President of the Senate shall open all certificates in the presence of senators and congressmen. Speaker Lord Alan Velasco rallied his fellow lawmakers to exercise prudence and diligence to ensure that the choice of leaders in the legitimate expression of the will of the people. Senate President Vicente Soto III earlier said Congress may proclaim the winners of the presidency and the vice presidency by May 27 or 28. The Commission on Elections, or Comelec, is ready to answer the petition filed against presumptive President Bongbong Marcos. It also gave a go signal for the early oath-taking of presumptive Vice President Sara Duterte. The details from Marita Moahe.
The Commission on Elections says it is ready to follow orders from the Supreme Court in connection with the petition to stop the counting of votes of presidential frontrunner Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. Acting Comelec spokesperson John Rex Laudianco said the poll body will always abide by any notice and decision of the highest court of the land. For his part, Comelec Commissioner George Garcia said it is the right of the petitioners to seek relief by elevating the case to the High Tribunal. Garcia has inhibited in all cases before the Comelec involving Marcos. On Tuesday, the petition filed by Father Christian Buenafe, among others, asked the High Court to reconsider the decision of the Comelec to dismiss the disqualification case against Marcos. The petition is also seeking for a temporary restraining order against Congress, sitting as the National Board of Canvasser or NBOC, and preventing it from canvassing votes for Marcos. The presumptive president is currently in Australia for a much-needed rest and vacation. Attorney Vic Rodriguez said Marcos is expected to come back to the Philippines from his private trip with his family tomorrow. Meanwhile, presumptive Vice President Sara Duterte is all set to take her oath in Davao City on June 19. Comelec Commissioner George Garcia said the former Davao City Mayor may proceed to hold her oath 11 days ahead of the beginning of her term as the second highest official of the country. as long as they assume office at 12:01 p.m. on June 30. And the content of the oath is similar to the one in the Constitution. He also said that conducting an oath of office ahead has been done in the past. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Marita Muaje.
Former Labor Secretary Bienvenido Laguesma is being eyed as the head of the Department of Labor and Employment, while overseas Filipino worker advocate Susan Toots Ople was asked to lead the Department of Migrant Workers under the incoming administration. Spokesperson Attorney Vic Rodriguez said Laguesma and Ople were honored by the offer but asked for more time to consult their families and friends. The Marcos camp has earlier announced that presumptive Vice President Sara Duterte would take the helm of the Department of Education, while former Metropolitan Manila Development Authority Chair Benhar Abalos is set to become the next Secretary of the Department of the Interior and Local Government, or DILG. Majority Leader Juan Miguel Zubiri would lead the formation of a majority bloc in the 24-member Senate to help pursue the legislative agenda of presumptive President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. Zubiri said they are looking forward to working productively with the new administration for the good of the people. He, however, vowed to stay independent amid an impending supermajority in the 19th Congress. For Senator Sani Angara, the 18th Congress provides a good model for the upcoming 19th Congress in terms of work ethics, leadership, and productivity. The Senate helped the President and his administration help the people in their time of need with expanded and unprecedented aid programs. And for Senator Bongo, he said he will always respect the decision of the majority and will continue to work silently for the interest of the Filipinos. Go said there is nothing wrong with speaking up if something is wrong or supporting the government if it is doing the right thing. Lawmakers laud the granting of a night shift differential pay to government employees, including those in government-owned or controlled corporations, or GOCCs. Senator Christopher Lawrence Bongo said the law recognizes the sacrifices of government employees, especially healthcare workers. He urged private companies to also reciprocate the efforts of their employees, particularly those who helped the country survive the COVID-19 pandemic. Gov't is also pushing for a special risk allowance for healthcare workers. Meanwhile, Senator Ramon Revilla Jr. thanked his fellow lawmakers who worked to pass the measure. Revilla is the author of Republic Act 11701, signed by President Rodrigo Duterte. Under the law, government employees, including those in government-owned or controlled corporations who work between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m., shall be paid the night shift differential at a rate not exceeding 20% of their hourly basic rate. This is in addition to the benefits and allowances currently enjoyed by government employees. Still ahead, the government aims to continue vaccinating at least 8 million more against COVID-19 until the end of President Duterte's term. Two major global banks improved their growth forecast for the Philippine economy. We'll be back after a quick break. Keep it here on the PNA Newsroom.
Tandaan ang tamang paraan ng paghuhugas at paglilinis ng kamay upang makaiwas sa iba't ibang karamdaman. Basain ng tubig ang mga kamay at sabunin. Unang sabunin ang mga palad at ang likod ng mga kamay. Kuskusin na maigi ang pagitan ng mga daliri at maging ang mga kuko. Isunod ang pagitan ng mga hinlalaki at kuskusin ng paikot ang mga dulo ng mga daliri sa magkabilang palad. Banlawang mabuti ang mga kamay sa malinis na tubig at patuyuin ang mga kamay gamit ang single-use towel o air dryer. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito. Pangalagaan ang sarili laban sa Coronavirus Disease 2019. Hanggat maaari, umiwas sa mataong lugar. Iwasang hawakan ang ilong at bibig, maging malinis sa katawan at ugaliin ang wastong paghuhugas ng kamay. Takpan ang ilong at bibig kung uubo o babahing. Umiwas sa mga taong nagpapakita ng sintomas ng coronavirus disease gaya ng lagnat, ubo at sipon. Magsuot ng face mask kung kinakailangan. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa. Kaya natin to. Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
The government aims to vaccinate 8.3 million more to reach its target of 77 million by the end of President Rodrigo Duterte's term. Health Undersecretary Mirna Cabotaje says they will do their best to fully reach the 77 million fully vaccinated individuals by June 30.
Ngayon, meron tayong 68.7 million fully vaccinated. So, kulang pa yan ng mga 8.3 million hanggang sa June 30. Meron tayong mga 4.5 million na due na ng second dose. So, kailangan hanapin yung mga kailangan ng mag-second dose. Tapos yung remainder, about another 4 million, pwede natin kunin yan sa 5 to 11 years old. May mga 5 million pa na mga batang kailangan na bigyan ng bakuna. Out of the 15 million na may mga supply na tayo. Tapos may mga about 1 million na 12 to 17 years old, about 3 million sa ating 18 to 58 at saka 1.8 million sa senior citizens. So we will now monitor every week para at least makuha natin na if not the target, at least close to the target of 77 million.
The National Vaccination Operations Center, or NVOC, is holding special vaccination days to reach the minimum target of 77 million fully inoculated Filipinos. According to the NVOC, there are 1.7 million unvaccinated persons in Central Visayas, around 1.5 million in Central Luzon, 1.4 million in Bicol, and 1.3 million in Sorsogon. Special focus will be given to Palawan due to its numerous tourist sites. Special vaccination days were held in the Bangsamoro region from May 11 to 13, followed by Lamitan, Basilan until May 20. The government has also ramped up its vaccination activities in Marawi City, Maguindanao, and Lanao del Sur from May 16 to 20. Health Undersecretary and NVOC Chair Mirna Cabotaje said the covered areas have increased their vaccination rate to about 68% of the target. The local governments of Manila and Quezon City continue to administer vaccines and booster shots amid the decline in COVID-19 cases. As of this morning, Quezon City has administered 5.7 million vaccines, including the first, second, and booster doses, and the single-dose Janssen jab. About 2.4 million adults and minors are fully vaccinated. 2.25 million adults and over 330,000 minors have had at least one dose, while over 830,000 received their first and second shots. In Manila, 3.4 million COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered as of 5 p.m. Tuesday. A total of 1.78 million adults are vaccinated, while 1.70 million have the complete primary series. Among minors, about 148,000 are vaccinated, while over 140,000 are fully vaccinated. Booster shots reach nearly 548,000. In our business news, global banks HSBC and Standard Chartered Bank have hiked their 2022 growth forecast for the Philippine economy following the higher-than-expected expansion in the first quarter of the year. HSBC revised upwards its gross domestic product forecast to 6.5% from 5.7% for the year, and the 2023 projection from 5.3% to 5.6%. It said the 8.3% expansion of the economy in the first quarter is a good opportunity to preempt potential inflation and capital outflows. Standard Chartered also changed its GDP forecast for this year from 7.5% to 8%. The bank said the performance this quarter gives the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas the leeway to start increasing its key rates. HSBC said inflation is expected to accelerate further from 4.9% last April until 2023 due to upticks in global prices of oil and other commodities. The BSP's key rates have been slashed by a total of 200 basis points in 2020 as part of the measures to help cushion the impact of the pandemic on the domestic economy. The Iloilo Business Club, or IBC, is appealing to the Western Visayas Regional Tripartite Wages and Productivity Board to reconsider its newly approved daily minimum wage. IBC Executive Director Eunice Guadalupe said businesses are not ready for a wage hike as they have not recovered yet from the COVID-19 pandemic. Guadalupe said they want to know the basis of the increase, which is equivalent to 13% to 35% from the current minimum wage. The announced minimum wage in the region for non-agricultural, industrial, and commercial companies will increase to 450 pesos from 395 for those with more than 10 workers. It will be 420 pesos from the current 310 for companies with 10 workers or less, and 410 pesos from the existing 315 for those in the agricultural sector. Meanwhile, the daily minimum wage rate in the Ilocos region will soon increase following the approval of the Regional Tripartite Wages and Productivity Board. The board approved on May 11 the minimum wage of 400 pesos daily for all non-agriculture establishments employing 10 or more employees, and 372 pesos a day for all non-agriculture firms with less than 10 employees and agriculture. Domestic workers or the kasambahay will also get an increase in their monthly rate from 4,500 pesos to cities and first-class municipalities, and 3,500 to 5,000 for other municipalities. More stories from the newsroom. Over 1,000 schools in Western Visayas are ready to hold limited face-to-face classes. The Philippines expects to maintain third place overall in the 31st SEA Games. Details ahead. Stay with the PNA Newsroom.
Alamin kung paano ang tamang pagsusuot ng surgical mask. Una, hawakan ang mask sa strap at siguruhing natatakpan nito ang inyong bibig at ilong. Tandaan, ang may kulay na bahagi ng mask ang dapat nasa labas. Ito lamang ang tamang paraan ng pagsuot nito. Ihulma ang nose piece o maliit na metallic strip ayon sa hugis ng inyong ilong. Iwasan ang paghawak sa inyong ilong at bibig. Kung marumi na ang mask, hubarin ito gamit ang strap at itapon ito sa isang basurahan. Siguruhin ang maayos na paghuhugas ng kamay gamit ang sabon at tubig. Ang surgical mask ay dapat gamitin ng mga pasyenteng may sakit sa baga o mga taong mayroong ubo, sipon at lagnat, mga nag-aalaga sa mga may sakit, at mga healthcare at frontline workers. Maaari ring magsuot nito kung kayo ay pupunta sa matataong lugar. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito. Alamin ang mga dapat gawin sa lugar ng trabaho laban sa Coronavirus Disease 2019. Ang mga kumpanya ay dapat magbigay ng face mask sa kanilang mga empleyado. Bukod dito, magbigay kaalaman din patungkol sa COVID-19. Siguraduhing malinis ang kapaligiran. Maglagay ng sabon at hand sanitizer sa mga palikuran. Siguraduhing ligtas at nalutong maigi ang mga pagkain sa kantina. Obserbahan ang kalusugan ng mga empleyado at katrabaho. Kung sakali man na mayroon silang sintomas ng coronavirus disease, gaya ng lagnat, ubot sipon at hirap sa paghinga, ay agad ipasuri sa doktor. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
Over 1,000 or more than 24% of over 5,000 schools in Western Visayas are ready for limited face-to-face classes as of May 11. The Department of Education, or DepEd Western Visayas, said 913 schools have yet to start the on-site classes. Others have yet to secure the concurrence of their local government units or are being lined up for validation. Those who could not start with limited face-to-face classes this year but have already passed the regional validation may begin next school year. The DepEd said if the downtrend in COVID-19 cases in the region continues, there is a possibility that most schools can start their limited face-to-face classes. Classes will end on June 27. Meanwhile, in Dumaguete City, the Department of Education City Division is looking forward to a progressive expansion of the in-person classes in the coming weeks, as some 6,000 learners are now attending limited face-to-face classes. The DepEd said out of the 25 schools identified for the progressive expansion of face-to-face classes, 10 of them are already participating. The DepEd said hopefully this will convince parents and the public to understand that going back to school is safe in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Currently, the City Division adopts 3 modalities: limited face-to-face classes, online learning, and the modular program. Authorities in northern Mindanao have vowed to help the Commission on Human Rights against the reported extortion of personalities claiming to be part of the New People's Army. Army 4th Infantry Division spokesperson Major Francisco Garello said they will cooperate with CHR Region 10 officials as soon as they are ready to share information on the incident. In a statement, CHR Executive Director Jacqueline De Guia said CHR 10 and their counterpart office in Region 12 recently received calls from personalities claiming to be NPA members and threatening the regional staff. Lieutenant Colonel Michelle Olaivar, Police Regional Office 10 spokesperson, said they are ready to conduct an investigation to identify the extortionists once CHR 10 allows them to do so. In recent years, the 4ID has filed complaints before the CHR accusing the CPP-NPA of violating international humanitarian law, especially on their practices of recruiting children as combatants. In sports, a sports official says he is optimistic that the Philippine delegation can finish 3rd overall in the medal standings of the 31st Southeast Asian Games in Vietnam. Fernandez said with the country placing 3rd halfway through the SEA Games, the team will have to maintain its performance until the end. As of this morning, the Philippines had 34 golds, 40 silvers, and 52 bronzes with a total of 126 medals. Host country Vietnam remains on top with 229 medals, followed by Thailand with 151. Carlos Yulo has won the most medals for the country with 5 golds and 2 silvers from gymnastics. Still in the medal hunt were the PH standard bearers in athletics, archery, boxing, basketball, bowling, billiards, weightlifting, karate-do, taekwondo, wrestling, canoe-kayak, shooting, sepak takraw, Muay Thai, and lawn tennis. A young man from Bukidnon shared how he had to use everything he learned as a volunteer rescuer to save his family from a disaster. 22-year-old Norberto Dogya, a member of the Talaandig people, suffered 3rd-degree burns while rescuing his family members from a fire in their home in Talakag town last Saturday. He said they were cooking for his father's birthday when the kitchen burst into flames and engulfed the house. He said he managed to save his nephew and brother as he tried to extinguish the fire, but he somehow burnt his body. He is now confined at the Bukidnon Provincial Medical Center. Dogya was a volunteer rescuer for Project Michelangelo's Foundation's Angel Rapid Rescue Response Team and in Bukidnon State University's College Disaster Management Unit. He was among those who fought the Malaybalay haze in 2016 and 2018 in partnership with the volunteer group Magbalantay sa Malaybalay. Donations for his treatment may be coursed through GCash. Let's take another look at today's biggest stories. The Commission on Elections has proclaimed all the 12 winning senators. The poll body is also set to reply to the petition filed against presumptive President Bongbong Marcos. The Health Department intends to vaccinate over 8 million Filipinos before the term of President Rodrigo Duterte ends. And the Philippines is on track to finish third overall in the SEA Games. As Filipinos, we all have a vital role to play in preventing the spread of COVID-19.
So remember, wear your face masks and face shields, wash your hands often, practice safe physical distancing, go out only for essential reasons, and get vaccinated as soon as possible to protect ourselves, our families, and the community. Together, we can beat COVID-19.
Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. For more news content, check our webpage or log onto the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more stories about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. Also, watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC13. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, we tell stories that inspire change. I am William Theo. Good day, everyone.